He is shocking everyone, and it's finally time he gets the playing time that he deserves. Today's show, we talk about one of the most underrated pieces on the entire Cowboys team and why he is finally going to get his roses after appearing out of thin air. Welcome to Cowboys Digest, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning in to today's show. We've got much to discuss on the Cowboys' defensive side of the ball, especially among one player who has been shocking the entire league. With that being said, though, I want to get into a little bit of the subscriber data because we noticed that 83% of you who watch these videos, you're not yet subscribed. What are you waiting for? I, for one, would certainly appreciate if you go down there and hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free. Plus, you're going to get daily coverage of the Dallas Cowboys throughout this 2025 season with shorts, live streams, and videos just like this. I promise you won't regret it. Let's talk about this Cowboys defense here for a second because it has been an underwhelming part of this team, and that's kind of, I think that may be a light way to put it because it was supposed to be a strength for the Cowboys in the secondary. You had Trevon Diggs. You had a good third-round pick in Trevon Rowe Jr., who we haven't seen yet, so we can't really make too many assumptions on him. Deron Bland looked like he was going to be healthy and then injured his foot. Kaiir Elam, I personally have had nothing but bad things to say about him this season, and it seems like that's the true thing, but a lot of it does go back to Matt Eberflus. I don't think he's a good defensive coordinator, but one thing that can be solved is the defensive edge rushing group because honestly, I truly look at some of these stats and it's baffling. When you think about this team, you had Micah Parsons on this team. You did. I understand that you changed the expectations when he goes away. But you have 5 sacks, which ranks you bottom 10, bottom 8 in the NFL in sacks. That is something that really should not be a problem with the Cowboys. Their defensive line is actually really good, at least in my mind. But I think there's a bigger reason behind some of these stats. And, the defense as a whole has just been pretty tough because you think about the past 3 games and it's been 40 points to the Green Bay Packers. It's been 31 points to a team in Chicago that had not been scoring at that rate throughout the entire season, and you let them run all over you. And then 37 points to a New York Giants team that was struggling to decide their starting quarterback. You made Russell Wilson look like he was back in his Super Bowl era. That's not the way this Cowboys defense should go. There's a couple of things that can help that out, and I think this week specifically with Justin Fields, you want to attack the quarterback. And what's the best way to attack the quarterback? Play the best players on your edge rushing and defensive interior lineman group. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today as a Cowboys edge rusher deserves more playing time heading into week 5, and I believe he is going to get it. That man is, of course, James Houston, who honestly appeared out of thin air. I mean, we signed him back in, I believe, July 22nd. This guy is signed out of nowhere. July 22nd, you added him to the training camp roster in a way. He had 8 sacks back in 2022 as a rookie, and it seems like he's kind of molding back into that form in a lot of ways. And yet, for whatever reason, he's not getting the playing time he deserves. He's not getting the recognition he deserves until Sunday Night Football, in which he had a strip sack against Jordan Love, and immediately Chris Collinsworth goes on here and says, they need to play this guy more. They need to. And the Cowboys should listen to him because it's true. If we look at some of the in-depth stats here, Brandon Laurie says this. Per NFL Pro, 7 different Cowboys defenders have logged at least 21 more pass rush snaps than James Houston, who has just 29 pass rush snaps. However, Houston is the only defender to have recorded multiple sacks with 2. Safe to say he needs more snaps after seeing a season high in week 4. And that's exactly why I believe he is going to see that upgraded time in this week, because we saw the jump in snap count last week, and it proved dividends. If we go and look at his game log here through the first couple games of the season, you can see that this past week against Green Bay was a very good game for him. Same amount of tackles, same amount of solos, same amount of assists, but the big numbers I look at. He got his 2nd sack of the season. Notice that his other one came in the Cowboys win again week 2 against the New York Giants. But also, the biggest play of the game that you can make argument that the Cowboys lose the game if he doesn't make it was the strip sack fumble and the fumble recovery of Jordan Love, decently late in that game. I mean, this was a huge play, or not decently late, but late in the first half. It was a very, very big play. And I truly look at this team and say, why are we not playing the best players? Why are we not allowing for the best guys to play. It seems like we've had this thing, and I'm going to put it up there because Jerry is jerrying all the time, and he continues to do some absolutely outlandish things. But we continue to pay players, and then when they don't perform, we continue to play them because we're paying them the money. I go to Miles Sanders. Jaden Blue should be getting the snaps. He's going to get it this week, but because of an injury, not because of anything else. James Houston is not getting paid a lot. He's not going to be the guy on the defensive line for a long time, potentially, but he is playing well right now, and he deserves the playing time. I don't get the stigmatism in the NFL and along professional sports in some aspects where, if this guy is getting paid more, we have to give him more of a shot. If this guy is getting paid more, we have to make sure that we get his snaps out there. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're paying them either way. You may as well put the best team out there on the field. And that's what should happen with James Houston, but yet for some reason it is not. Now, it's so funny because I bring up all these in-depth stats, and one of the biggest one is pass rush win rate, and guess what? James Houston leads the entire team in that. You're telling me that the guy who leads the entire Dallas Cowboys in pass rush win rate through 4 weeks of the season had like the 5th most snap count? Probably not even that. Among the defensive linemen, it was like 8th. Among edge rushers, it was like 4th. In the entire team? No. That should not be what it happens. And I understand. There's different stigmatisms around it, and there's things to look at with James Houston. And you probably look at this PFF sheet and think, well, Jace, this isn't great. And I'm like, PFF is the reason, or one of the reasons why I brought up PFF late here is because the 2 stats that you're going to see on the back end here, snap count. So you know he is 117th out of 166 edge rushers in snap count, yet he has the 37th best ranked PFF grade in all of the edge rushers in the NFL. It's 73.6. And has had one of the highest PFF grades week after week for the Dallas Cowboys. 3 pressures, which, again, that is partially due to the amount of snaps he's had. 3 out of 60 is a really good percentage in the NFL. I look at this and I really wonder, I'm like, is this another thing where it's Matt Eberflus making a dumb decision? And I understand that maybe it's not the right way to look at that, but listen, we paid Dante Fowler Jr. in this offseason. I get it. He has been underwhelming. Jadeveon Clowney has been pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I like Sam Williams, but his first game was really good, and since then, he's kind of been disappeared. Same can be said for Marshawn Nealand. Donovan Ezeraku had a pretty dang good game against the Packers this past Sunday night, but I still look at this team and wonder, are we really putting out the best 11 players on defense? Are we really putting out the best 11 players on offense? Because it doesn't seem that way at times. It really doesn't. And that goes more than just depth. I say 11 players. It's honestly 22. It's your depth. And you want to go further, 25 players, however many you want to put on there. They're not playing the right guys in the right situations, and they're not giving the guys who are performing well more time. And if James Houston goes out there this week and he plays more time and it doesn't look good, then fine, we can reevaluate each week. But that's the best part of the NFL, is that is a week-to-week choice. You can make that decision every single week, and it doesn't have to hurt you for the rest of the season. It doesn't. It doesn't. But yet the Cowboys continue to do this thing where they're like, okay, we're not going to play him because, well, we signed him in July. I mean, how is he doing this well? He's doing this well because he was supposed to. 3 years ago, he had 8 sacks in the NFL as a rookie. James Houston deserves more time. He should get more time. And if the Cowboys do not give it to him and they continue to lose these games that they should win, I'm going to start blaming coaches, because if you're not putting the best players out there, you have to be to blame. And so I ask Cowboys Nation this question. Do you think James Houston deserves a starting spot on the defensive edge? I wanted to go a little bit more in depth in this one. Not do you think he deserves more snaps, not do you think this, but if you've looked at the edge rushing group this season and understand that he is the only person with 2 sacks, do you think he is a starter for this team? If you think he is, I want you to type Y for yes. If you think no, Jace, he's not a starter, I really don't know what you're talking about, then I want you to type in for no in the comment section. I'm a big yes. And I think I have to go back to this positional group because I said it just a moment ago. If you're asking me who should be the starters, I'm honestly right now putting James Houston alongside Ezeraku, because I want Ezeraku to get the snaps. He had a pretty good week 4 after really bad weeks 1 through 3. I think you can rotate out. I'm not saying that they start and then play the rest of the game, but I think if you're talking about putting your best 11 out there to start the game, I'm putting James Houston out there. I am. That's how good he has been this season. You talk about his PFF rate, you talk about his pressure rate, you talk about his sack rate. It is better than most of the edge rushers, not just the Cowboys, but in the NFL. Legit. And you are not using him in the proper manner, and it needs to be fixed. It needs to be. And so, with that being said, I'll let go of my rant here, and hopefully we see more James Houston. And more than anything, I hope we see a win on Sunday, because I can't take a loss to the New York Jets. That's something we cannot do. So, either way, we appreciate you watching. If you've made it to the end of the video, I want you to do me a favor. Go down there in the comment section and type real one, so I know you are one of my guys watching every video, watching to the end here on Cowboys Digest. Real one, if you want to type REAL and just the number one, I'll know it's you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time here on Cowboys Digest, guys. Peace out.